The Southern Lakes area has been sculpted over time by colossal glaciers to form some of the most remarkable terrain in Aotearoa. The remaining landscape holds some of the most beautiful and challenging tramping routes in New Zealand. One of the more hazardous adventures takes you right past Dart Glacier for an extraordinary alpine experience. The Cascade Saddle Route. The Cascade Saddle Route is a 17-kilometre, 8 to 10 hour alpine crossing that connects West Matukituki Valley with the Dart Valley. Doc recommends to only attempt the pass from the Matukituki side, as ascending is much safer than descending. It is a very challenging and technical climb, and numerous deaths have occurred here, so you will need advanced tramping experience to navigate the pass safely. The best time of year to cross Cascade Saddle is middle to late summer. Snow and steep terrain have contributed to multiple fatalities, so this will be the safest period to give it a go. It isn't recommended to attempt the crossing outside of this period due to the high amount of snowfall it receives. The average daily summer temperature sits around 5 to 10 degrees, and you can expect approximately 200 days of rain per year. It's important to remember that you will be in an alpine environment, which means there is a good chance you will experience heavy rain, strong winds, snow, and freezing temperatures, even in the height of summer. So you'll need warm and waterproof clothing, as well as a good pair of tramping boots. A personal locator beacon is also highly recommended on this route. As with all walks and tramps in New Zealand, make sure you leave your intentions with a trusted contact and inform them when you've finished your tramp. You can find out more about leaving your intentions at the Mountain Safety Council website. Starting at Raspberry Creek Car Park, you'll need to walk 2.5 hours up the valley to Aspiring Hut. This is the official start of the route, so factor 8 to 10 hours of tramping from this point. The first section through the bush is quite steep, but you are well sheltered in here. Near the top of the bush, you will need to cross a stream. There's no bridge available, so this will take a bit of care and scrambling to get across. The rocks can get slippery when wet, and it can flood during heavy rain, making it impassable. So be prepared to wait or turn around if crossing is not safe. Use the bushline as a decision-making point as the track drastically changes into an expert route. Leaving the bush also means you'll be left highly exposed to any incoming weather, and there is no shelter for the next 6 to 9 hours. Look toward Mount Aspiring, and if the weather looks poor or if you are unsure about your ability, then you should have some lunch, enjoy the view, and turn back around. From here, the route becomes narrow, steep, and very exposed. You'll need to use your hands to essentially climb up many sections of the track. Just follow the orange poles to find your way. The track becomes slippery in wet conditions, and a fall from here can be fatal, so watch your footing and turn around if the weather deteriorates. If snow is present at this stage, it is not recommended to proceed any further unless you have crampons and an ice axe, and most importantly, the skills to use them. Slipping in snow here has resulted in people falling several hundred metres off the cliffs below. As you climb higher, you will be rewarded with a beautiful view and great photo opportunities. Just be extremely careful and pay constant attention to the cliff edge. Don't put yourself at unnecessary risk by searching for that perfect photo spot. The final section of the climb is the most dangerous, and you'll find signs here warning you of this danger. The track zigzags above several bluffs, and there is no room for error here. You will need extreme care and concentration to safely navigate this section even on the best day, but the risk of falling is especially high when snow or strong winds are present. So again, if snow is present and you do not have crampons and an ice axe, do not proceed past this point. Roughly 4 hours after leaving Mount Aspiring Hut, you will reach the highest point of your journey. This is another good decision-making point, so reassess the weather. Remember, you still have 6 hours of challenging tramping to go, including 4 river crossings, so turning back may be a safer alternative if conditions are poor. Otherwise, if you are prepared to camp, the Cascade Creek campsite is only 1 hour away. Finally, assess how much daylight hours you have left. With 6 hours of tramping to go, you don't want to get caught in the dark. The descent into the campsite quickly begins. It requires you to travel over schist slabs and small scree slopes. The schist is quite hard to get a good foothold on and can be very slippery when wet. Test all hand and footholds as the schist is crumbly and rock can easily break off when holding onto it. Cascade Creek campsite sits at the bottom of this descent, and it's the only place you are permitted to camp on the crossing. There is a toilet available here, so be sure to use it to keep the track tidy. Just past the toilet, you will need to cross a river. This can be a gentle stream or a raging current, depending on how much rain or snowmelt has occurred throughout the day. Make sure you're familiar with the mutual support technique to safely cross the river if it is in flood. The next section is fairly straightforward as you traverse toward the actual saddle. Stick to the marked route as you will pass near Cascade Basin, which has many steep drop-offs. You'll be highly exposed to any wind or bad weather up here, and cloud or fog can reduce visibility, so make sure you can see the next route marker before leaving your current one. Mount Aspiring offers amazing views on a nice clear day. Just keep a close eye on any loose items, as the ever-charming Kia are often spotted wandering around up here. As you move off the saddle, you will start your descent down past Dark Glacier. This section is deceivingly time-consuming, as the area experiences frequent landslides and avalanches, which constantly reshapes the terrain and buries route markers. You'll need good route-finding experience, and look out for any remaining markers or rock cairns to help you find the safest way down. Take care on this descent, as the ground isn't very stable, and you'll find walking poles will be a huge help. Upon reaching the Dart Valley floor, you will follow the Dart River all the way down to Dart Hut. The last 3 rivers before Dart Hut are prone to rising fast, which can make them difficult to cross safely. These rivers rise fast during wet weather, but also during nice warm days, as the snow at higher elevations will melt, increasing the river flow. You'll need to be aware and prepared for this before you start your tramp. Pack some extra food, warm clothes, and a head torch. Bring a tent or basic shelter, as you may need to wait overnight for river levels to drop, even if you are only doing a day walk from Dart Hut to the glacier. Finally, do not attempt to cross the rivers if they are swollen or in flood. Arrival at Dart Hut signals the end of Cascade Saddle Route, but keep in mind you'll still have 1 to 2 days of tramping before reaching civilization. Crossing Cascade Saddle is a challenging route that requires a high level of tramping fitness and experience to complete, but it is a rewarding adventure for those that are prepared and have adequate experience for the trip. Aim to give it a go from late December to early April. If you don't think this track is for you, or if snow is present on the pass, then try out the Rob Roy or West Matukituki tracks. Talk to dock staff at the Tititia Mount Aspiring National Park Visitor Centre in Wanaka to get up-to-date track conditions. Finally, make sure you check out the official Mount Aspiring National Park weather forecast at MetService.com before you go. With enough preparation, experience, and the right weather conditions, you should have a pretty amazing alpine adventure.